outside is not that cold, and if you take my hand, I'll walk with you to Georgia.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Country with Celine. Now today, we are talking to a special guest. His name is Jason Petric from the Petric Band. Jason, how are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Quickly, I just want to say some stats. Pretty amazing. You guys have 15 million worldwide online streams, 12 charting singles. I said that correctly the first time. I don't know why I corrected myself on that one. And 3 top 20. So first off, congrats on all the success. And we're so excited to see what's to come. And that's what this interview is about, chatting about what's to come and all that fun stuff. So Jason, let's get to know you a little bit more. So where are you from?
I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba. My brother Tom and I grew up in a suburb of Winnipeg called Transcona. Transcona is its own little town in itself. A lot of character in the community, a lot of little bars and a little pubs that we grew up playing in. And Winnipeg's our hometown. I'm currently living in Kenora, Ontario, but Winnipeg will always be home, and that's where the band's located out of.
Now, how did Petric come to be? So you guys are brothers. Now, was this your brother's idea or was this your idea?
Oh, no. This was all me. Still to this day, every good idea and every bad idea, it's usually always mine. And I'm still not sure if the band was a good idea or a bad idea yet, but we'll figure that out one day, I'm sure. But we started this band about close to 10 years ago now, which is pretty crazy. I was doing my own thing. I'm very passionate about music. I was writing songs as a teenager in high school. I dreamt of being in a band that got to do some pretty cool things. So, at the end of the day, it kind of just started chipping away and getting shows and getting band members together. And eventually the band became myself, my brother, and a few other guys. Jordan Day, he's kind of been in the band since day one as well. He's actually in my band before Tom kind of became in the band. So it's been an evolution of musicians and songs, but that's kind of how it started. We were very young when that all happened, and now like 10 years later, we're still doing it, and we've had a few songs hit radio. We've got to play a few shows that we're very proud of, and we're still having fun doing it.
Hey, everything happens for a reason. So there was a reason why you guys decided to start up a band, or well, you had the thought to start up the band, and it became a success.
Exactly. So we're one song at a time. We keep trying to do something cool.
Well, one song at a time. Okay, so you already had a release earlier on this year called Flirtin with Haley Jensen. Now we have a new single that is out called Night Up. How excited are you to have that out there?
Yeah, I'm really excited to have that out there and to play it live. We have a few shows coming up this summer, and I think this one's going to end up being a really strong song for our live show. It's a little bit more rock and roll. It's almost completely rock and roll, if depending on how you listen to it and what type of speakers you're listening on. But it was something we really wanted to do into the studio. Flirtin was definitely a little bit more kind of had some organic country sounds. You had those bluesy, swampy guitars in it. Night Up's got some crunch. It's got some distortion and some high harmony vocals. So it's gonna be a little bit different, but I think it's gonna go over really well with their fans. I think they're all gonna really like it.
I feel like this is gonna be a song you could either open the show with or you can close the show with. It's like one of those tunes.
I think so. So, well, I guess we'll see.
Yes. Well, upcoming shows, you just kind of touched on it. So where are we performing this summer?
We've got a few dates. We're going to be playing in the town I'm living in right now, Kenora, Ontario. So we've got a really cool show. It's a free show. So what's really neat about that is I think the whole community is going to come out. Since moving here, I've got to meet a lot of people. We've performed here before, and we've got the opportunity to perform with people before, or perform in front of these people before. But I love playing here. There's some amazing people. We get to play on the Whitecap Pavilion, which is a beautiful venue right on the harbor front. It's where I met my wife. So it's a real special venue for me, and we're looking forward to that. We're going to be playing the Winkler Harvest Festival in Manitoba, and then we're going to be part of a charity event for one of the radio stations in Winnipeg as well. So we've got a couple dates close to home this year, which is really nice because we've all got young families now, and it's been it was an interesting transition going into the pandemic as a band, where you really had to slow down and you kind of had to strategically plan life, not just music and everything else, but life in general. So it's kind of the same thing. We're not jumping in too heavy right now, but we wanted to get out and play, see some fans, play some songs that we've yet to play for people. And then we're actually going to be going out on the road in October and doing a few more dates as well.
Awesome. Well, you have a busy year ahead of you then.
It's going to be a good one. We're looking forward to it. And like, kind of said earlier, we got some new songs that we haven't played yet. So I think that's going to be the fun part, to see if we actually know how to play them or if we just knew how to record them.
Oh, love that. Love that. Now, these new songs, were majority of them written during the pandemic? Because that was like 2 years where artists got to work on their craft and develop maybe even a different sound that they wanted to portray.
The ones that we're releasing now, no, to be honest. We recorded flashbacks in two pretty heavy segments. One involved us, actually they both involved flying our producer up to Winnipeg. There was a small stint we did in the States, but we ended up, the second stint we needed to bring up our team to record Canadian content. We got the boring end of it, but we did get some Factor endorsements, but we needed to get a little bit more Canadian content. So I ended up going down to Nashville to write a bunch of songs right before the pandemic with some of my favorite Canadian writers, and came back with a bunch of songs. Thank God I did that, because then everything shut down. So we had a bunch of songs that we really wanted to do. So we recorded these before the pandemic. We wrote these before the pandemic and recorded them throughout it. We have been writing quite a bit, and we're going to be taking those songs into the studio shortly. But these last few singles were songs that we kind of had ready right as the world got a little squirrely.
That's good that you had those prepared, because everybody in Canada knows how hard it was to go across the border to the States. So it was a difficult time, and everybody kind of had to stay up north for a while or down south, wherever you were. But that's good that you got to go to Nashville, write those songs. And there's so many talented Canadian artists living in Nashville, representing Canada. We love that. Love it.
It's really cool. You know what? We were talking a little bit off air here, and just about growing up and appreciating the industry. And I grew up listening to Canadian country music, listening to Terry Clark. I remember when Gord Bamford's first single came out, and he was playing a small little club in Manitoba, and honestly there was no one there, but I was there because I really appreciated his music and the industry, and to see how far it's grown, and how Canada and the Canadian art has really found it like a niche home in Nashville and around the world, and how it continues just to get better. That is very special, and that is due to a lot of artists working really hard right now. So we were very, very fortunate that we got to write with these people before we, like I said, before the world got a little funky. But we were very lucky we had that, just because it gave us something to work on in the pandemic as well. I'm sure we would have had something to do had we not had those songs to work with. We would have figured something out, but it was a very, very great blessing for us to have an album to work on, and to promote, and songs to dig into, and then songs to dig into after the album, because it's been a long couple years, and it's been a weird couple years, because we've got our hopes up on some shows, and then they got postponed or canceled, or they just didn't even come to fruition the way we thought they would. Mm-hmm. But the music has always been there, and the music is everything to us. So it's been great, and we're excited to finally share some more music with everyone.
Well, it's so exciting that we can finally put those 2 years behind us and kind of just move forward now in 2022. I said this before, and I'm always scared when I say this, but 2022 has been normal, and like it's our first year of no lockdowns, no nothing, which I don't want to jinx it. Actually, I lied. There wasn't a lockdown earlier in the year to start the year. Okay, after that, there was no more lockdowns. But it's going to be a really exciting year. Now, I just want to take it back to the last release that you just had called Flirtin. Now, this song became an international hit. Did you guys, what was your reaction when you found out that it charted top 40 in the Australian country charts? That's big because it's international at that point.
Yeah, that was really cool. We I don't know, it's really cool. It is a lot of fun, and it's a lot of fun seeing your song get received, positively by a group of people, anyone, even just one person. I love when someone likes your music. It's what you do it for. But that song ended up going to number 23 on the Australian national charts. Started on CMT. A lot of the radio stations had it as their number one song, spinning on their whole networks. It was crazy to see the amount of support we got. We are hoping to get down there within the year so we can meet some of these fans and play some of these songs. It's an absolute dream to hear your music in different parts of the world. It's one thing to kind of get your local station behind it, and that might be my favorite thing in its own. In its own world. It's like when your hometown station plays your song, nothing beats that. But when someone else outside of your hometown likes your music enough to support it, that's extra special, and it's special in a different way. And we got to experience that with this song, and we're very grateful for it. So very cool.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing when you release a song when you're in Canada on Apple, Spotify, whatever it may be, and it just travels so far and people start sharing it, whether it's someone in Germany, they share it to their friend in Italy, then like Australia, like anywhere. It's pretty crazy how that happens, and it makes you so grateful to know that people really love your music, even being from that far away. And Australia, so if you were to go to Australia, I feel like a lot of people would think you are Australian because you got the flow going. All that's next is the nice surfboard and getting in the waves.
Yeah, I'll touch up on my Aussie accent. I don't think they'll pass, but I definitely can be a beach bum and fit right in.
Oh my God! No, you got the Keith look going.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, talking about all this new music, can we expect an EP or an album anytime soon? Is that something that's been in the works for you guys?
Yeah. Absolutely. We got a bunch of songs that we're working on. I penned a song that I was really, really excited about a month ago. So that song's kind of inspired us to we've got a studio date set. We're flying up the guys, and we're getting everything together. So it'll be happening soon. How it kind of falls together, I'm not sure yet. But we got a lot of music coming. Definitely want to release a little EP, probably early next year. Might be doing a couple EPs next year, just depending on how everything comes together. So we're as inspired as ever. We have a lot of songs we're really passionate about, and I can't wait to just keep it going. And it's happening now, so it's really cool.
Well, that's going to be really exciting. And like I keep saying, we're all excited to hear that. And you're passionate about music, but I know you're also passionate about the Winnipeg Jets. And we all know what happened to the Jets this year. They were.
I don't know either.
So, Jason, who are you rooting for now? Let's just chat a little hockey. Colorado or Tampa? Or you're just neither?
Oh, man. You know what? I think either way, there's so many great stories behind this Stanley Cup final. I'm a huge Jets fan. I was kind of pulling for the New York Rangers, to be completely honest. They got Andrew Kopp, who we've been fortunate enough to kind of get to know over the last couple of years with the Jets. He reached out early on. He's a fan of the band, so always been a huge fan of his. So it's kind of sad to see him go, but we're rooting for him. Plus, Ryan Reeves is another great Winnipeg boy on the Rangers. They didn't quite go through, so now I'm very, very neutral. It'd be very cool to see Tampa do 3 in a row. There's also a lot of great players on Colorado that deserve a cup. So I don't know. All I'm rooting for is that Barry Trotz comes and coaches the Winnipeg Jets.
Fair enough. It's funny you're neutral on this one. I'm dead in my – I do not want Tampa to win. I'm from Toronto, and to see this happen, it breaks my heart because that could have been Toronto, and I probably sound like a typical Leafs fan, but
Oh yeah, you do.
Okay, fair enough. But if you watch the series, honestly, the Leafs outplayed Tampa, and they just got screwed by the refs. Like, it makes
They played great, but you know what? That's also like Tampa's a good hockey team, and I think they got a great coach, and that for me, that there's characters on that team that just feel like they don't deserve to lose. They might not deserve to win, but they don't deserve to lose either at times. New York took a couple cheap shots. They took like Jacob Trouba had like 3 headshots in the playoffs. So when they lost, I was like, okay, well, I wanted them to win, but you know what? They kind of played a little dirty from time to time. I think both teams are in it right now. They're doing great. And Nathan McKinnon, great Canadian hockey player. That guy deserves the Stanley Cup. So
yeah.
I definitely wouldn't be upset to see him lift a cup above his head.
Definitely not. I would not be upset either. Even with Cale Makar, he's been outstanding. Like, I've heard he's being compared to Bobby Orr, and I mean, I'm not even going to argue with that because I can totally see that. That guy's a two-way player, and he's unbelievable. I wish the Leafs could have grabbed him.
I know. You know what's cool? Here's a cool story about him. So he played for the Brooks Bandits, and I was looking up. I didn't realize that until one of the sports Instagram things showed a clip of him playing hockey. I'm like, hey, that's the Brooks Bandits. Hey, we did an anthem for one of their playoff games like a handful of years ago. So I looked up and I'm like, oh, Tom. I texted Tom. I said, Tom, he would have been on that team when we sung the anthem. Never in a million years did I think that one of the guys on that ice was going to end up being like potentially the best defenseman to ever play hockey. So it's a very small world, and he's doing fantastic. So he's another guy that definitely deserves to win.
Well, that's a really cool story. Now, before I let you go, one final question. It's hockey related again because I like hockey. Game. What game do you think they're going to win it in? Or who's going to win it? Let's pick somebody. Do you think Tampa or do you think Colorado, and what game?
I think Colorado's going to win in 5.
Yeah? Ooh,
yeah,
okay.
I think Colorado's that good. I think they're going to win in 5.
4-1. Okay, then. I'm sticking with Colorado in Game 6.
All right, cool.
So we'll see who's right here. Let's put like a $5 bet on.
All right, deal. Next time we run into each other, someone owes the other one a drink.
Okay, fair enough. And if Tampa wins, then we both lose.
Then we'll both buy each other a drink.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, thank you so much, Jason, for chatting with me. It was so nice to chat with you and meet you, even though it was over Zoom. I'm sure eventually our paths will cross one day, whether it's at a festival you're playing at or a concert or wherever it may be. I'm super excited for all the new music, and I'm sure your fans are very excited as well.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your support, and I look forward to meeting you in person very soon.